Yo, 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 what's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk with Elite Wagers. I am your host, Elite Wagers, and this is going to be another episode breaking down the EPL fantasy season-long game over on FanTeam. I've broken down the goalkeeper and defensive positions. I did the midfielders a couple of days ago, and now we're on to the forwards. So the big money makers in the Premier League. The high valued players all coming into this episode here. The high point scoring players essentially as well are going to be spoken about in this episode. Before I get into that, I want to send you all over to my Twitter. I want to show you a few things. Obviously the first thing, my strategy guide in 30 seconds. I did a YouTube short highlighting all my strategies and things like that I like to use when building out my teams. It's in a 30-second video, so it's on my pinned tweet on my Twitter. Click that, have a little watch, implement those into your team. If you go over to my highlights as well, you'll also see the previous episodes that I have had. So here's my goalkeepers and defenders episode. Click the link to go back and listen to that one. There's all a few days ago. Click the link, listen back to midfielder options as well. And then there is also the competition, the giveaway that I have started. We've got a week, I think it's a week on Wednesday it ends. So you've got a few days left to enter. All you've got to do is like, retweet and comment free on this post here. I'm giving away 5 free tickets into the FanTeam £175,000 prize pool contest for the season-long game for the Premier League. So yeah, like, retweet, comment to be entered, and then obviously continue listening for the forwards. So we're going to go into it similar way to last week. I'll break down sort of from a price point. So premium value and honourable mentions, obviously premium picks being the ones that are the high valued players. You obviously don't want to pick too many of these. Like a quick little example here, you don't want to be paying 26.5 million for Salah and Haaland. It's not feasible. It's not good. It's not a good way to build out your team. Why is he on there? So premium picks should be a premium, 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most. The value options, the average amount per player is 7.5 million. So the average sort of player under the value of the average type player. So players under 7.5 million, they have a higher upside and a low price, helping build out those teams. And then the honourable mentions will be players that have basically just joined teams where there isn't too many stats and things like that on those particular players, but we do know that they can have a big influence on the team, so there won't be too many stats on those players. But if you want to take a gamble, you could throw one of those 2 in from the get-go. So we're going to start off with Haaland. Erling Haaland had a bit of a down year last year. Obviously there was a few injuries for him, so he is slightly lower than we would have liked to have seen him last year. 181 total points, averaging 5.8. So he was the 5th highest in total points for a forward position, and he averages the 2nd most per game from a forward as well. So he didn't do too bad, even though he missed a couple of games. He is the penalty taker, which is become a standard for his points for the last couple of years. He does average 88 minutes as well, so it very rarely comes off. Obviously, as you can see there, his minutes are slightly down due to those injuries. 25 goal contributions in the Premier League last year. Again, maybe a few more if he didn't miss injuries. 10 clean sheets as well. But he averages 3.5 shots per game with 1.8 on target, so he's always in and around the goal. He does also always have those opportunities to score goals with his shot contributions. He does have a slightly favourable start to the season as well. I don't know if you can see it on here. No, we can't. I'll have a look. I'll show you deep. Oh, there you go. Fixtures matrix there. So Man City, they do have a slightly favourable opening sort of 10 games. I don't have it the same colour-coded scheme as this. I have them playing 2 hard games, 6 medium and 2 easy. But, you know, again, favourable for Man City and for Haaland in that respect. The second one, which probably is going to be my attacking pair, if I'm honest, I can't see any other 2 players scoring many higher than Haaland and Watkins. Ollie Watkins, 9.5 million, so he is a premium pick. But as you can see, he was significantly higher than a lot of the forwards within the Premier League last year. He had the 7th most total points in the league with 186. Averaging 4.9 per game, which is the 6th most from a forward position. Takes penalties, so he's a penalty taker as well, given that extra boost for a potential goal. He also missed time last year, his minutes being way down than what we're used to seeing. A total of 24 goal contributions with another 10 clean sheets for him. Averaging 2.7 shots with 1.2 on target. So again, just same as Haaland, he has the opportunities for extra goals and things like that based on his shot intake. Averages 83 minutes per game. Similar position to Haaland in terms of fixtures as well. If we can just go back to the fixtures here for the matrix, you're going to see a lot of the same colours here. Yellow across there means medium. Me personally, I have 2 hard, 6 medium and 2 easy. So again, a favourable matchup for the striker in Ollie Watkins. The next one I'm going to go for is Dominic Solanke. Sort of, you can see he's listed as a maybe at the moment. He's missed a few preseason games down to injury, but 7.5 million puts him right on the brink of the value option. He is dead on the average price per player within this contest, but he does have lower stats and things like that than a lot of the people that will be playing ahead of him. So obviously, as you can see here, there's a lot of forwards that are higher than Solanke. He had 108 points last year, averaging 4 per game as well. Not the best, obviously, but there is going to be a little bit of an upside to Spurs this year. I don't think they do as badly as they did last year. He averages 87 minutes, so he very rarely comes off the field. He only had 14 contributions in last season with 4 clean sheets. Averaging 2.4 shots with 1 on target per game. But again, I expect them to be a lot better than they were last year. I think Solanke, if he is fit and he does lead the line, I think he can be a very, very good pick for Tottenham. Fixture schedule, however, favours Tottenham in the first 10 games massively. Again, I have a different colour scheme, but you can see there they don't play a necessarily hard team for a long, long time. I've got them down to having 1 hard, 5 medium and 4 easy within the first 10 games. Obviously the hard being the Man City game there. But playing Burnley, Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton and Wolves on the other side of those. And who's that on there? And Leeds as well. So they could have a very, very good start to the league with Dominic Solanke. And then again, similar thing. If it's not Solanke, Richarlison should be a good contributor for them as well. Moving on to my next one, it's going to be Chris Wood. Chris Wood, same price, 7.5 million, so he's right on the average price per player. Chris Wood, technically the second best striker in terms of points last year. 200 points, which is the 5th most in the league, second from a forward. Averaging 5.6 per game, which is the 7th most in the league. And again, he's right up there with the best strikers again. He is a penalty taker as well, so again, added chance for a goal. Having a look at his minutes, almost 3,000 minutes. He averages 84 minutes per game, 23 goal contributions with 15 clean sheets. Averages 1.9 shots with 1 on target per game. So again, all these strikers very, very good in terms of their shot intake and things like that. But Chris Wood has a good favourable matchup as well. They all have decent starts to the season, if I'm honest. But Chris Wood could be another one. If you wanted to sort of keep a little bit of budget, maybe you don't want to pick Haaland for 13 million. I think Chris Wood is a good alternative. Coming down to their fixtures, Nottingham Forest. I had this game here as a hard game. I'm not sure why it's a medium game ranked on here, but just looking at those first 6 games: Brentford, Palace, West Ham, Arsenal, Burnley, Sunderland. That's a very favourable first 6 games. They could easily win 5 out of those 6 games. But for me personally, 2 hard, 5 medium, 3 easy. I think they can get off to a very good start. And obviously, pre-season they haven't been too good. They've lost the last couple of games against lower league sides, but obviously heavily rotated teams. But Chris Wood is one of those guys that needs to be back to his best for them to succeed within the season. We're now on to the value pick, the true value picks. Let's see where we are for the first value pick. Here he is, Larsson. Signed on a permanent deal for Wolves. Obviously, he was there on loan last year. Played very, very well for them last year. As you can see here, they obviously had Cunha up front last year, who was their leader. Strad Larsson just behind him at a significantly lower price as well. So 6.5 million. So he's a value pick. 145 points last year. That's the 9th most from a forward. Averages 4.1, which is the 12th most from a forward. So him now being the lone striker and the lone forward for Wolves is going to benefit him a lot, in my opinion. He averages 86 minutes, and that is obviously while he had Cunha there with him. So he actually had just 9 minutes less than Cunha. He had 18 goal contributions in total, 7 clean sheets. Averaged 1.8 shots with 1 on target per game. I expect that to go up, obviously with the addition of Arias as well. Larsson's going to be the main guy in the box for them, in and around the box for them. I expect him his numbers to increase a lot, and I think he's a very, very good value pick at 6.5 million. Don't know what's happened here. 6.5 million I think is very, very cheap for him. In terms of their fixture schedule, I've got 2 hard, 4 medium, and 3 easy games. Just looking at the fixtures here for them. Wolves there, so they start off, at Man City, which is difficult, and then you have another hard game in week 4. But I think a lot of these games they can be very, very competitive with. Outside of those 2 hard games, 4 medium and 4 easy, in my opinion, as well. So could be a very, very good start for Wolves. The next one I'm going to go for is Evanilson. So he obviously has a hard game against Liverpool in week 1. But again, he's sort of the main guy for Bournemouth in that striker position. Played very, very well last year. 128 points, which is the 11th most from forward position. Averages 4.1, which is the 13th most by a forward position. He is going to be on penalties. I see him on the second there, but I think he has overtaken Kluivert for penalties as well. So he could be on penalties a lot of the time. Obviously missed a bit of time last year. Averages 82 minutes per game. 15 goal contributions with 11 clean sheets. Averaging 2.6 shots with 1.1 on target per game. So getting a shot on target per game. Bournemouth are one of those teams that are very, very sneakily good for attack and returns. Last year they were one of the best teams for goals scored. And their fixture schedule to start the season is fairly decent as well. Bournemouth played Liverpool in the first game, obviously, as I said. After that, they got some games they can be very competitive in. Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton are the 3 games that I've highlighted for Evanilson. I think if he can get off to a good start in those 3 games there, then his form could carry over to this Newcastle game, and then obviously facing Leeds in game week 6. But yeah, in my opinion, 2 hard, 6 medium, 2 easy for Evanilson. And I think 6.5 million could be relatively cheap for a player of his standard. Moving down to my last value pick. I've gone past him. Danny Welbeck. He's listed as maybe. I think he has picked up a knock. But in terms of his stats last season, he is here. Obviously, they had João Pedro playing up front for the majority of the time. Welbeck sort of came in relief to João Pedro, but if you look at the numbers there, they're very, very similar. 126 points for João Pedro, but 125 for Welbeck, and Welbeck was the backup, if you like, for João Pedro. So him almost emulating what Pedro was able to do as the starter is a good sign. 125 points, 15th most by forward, but he averaged 4.2, which is the 9th most by forward. So he's in the top 10 with averaging points per game. He averages 87 minutes per game as well. So even though he came in relief to João Pedro, he actually played more minutes, and he averaged 87 minutes. 15 goal contributions for Welbeck, 7 clean sheets. And in terms of his shot contributions, he had 2.5 shots with 1 on target per game. So, again, he's going to be the main guy for them up front. If he does start, maybe he is injured, I'm not sure. He should be on penalties as well. I'm not sure why he's third in line on this, but he should be on penalties. Maybe not on free kicks, in my opinion, but penalties should be a definite. Welbeck has a decent fixture schedule. Could be touch and go, obviously. Here, Man City, Chelsea, so the 2 hard games. Other than that, I think they've got 7 medium and 1 easy. So Fulham, Everton, Bournemouth, Tottenham are the medium games in the first 6. Similar to Strad Larsen and Banelson, all these players here are in the same boat where they're going to have to start off very, very well, playing some difficult games within the first couple. But these guys are going to need to be on form to sort of help their teams get some well-earned points within the first couple of games of the season. At 6.5 and 6 million, I think they're very, very good for budget players trying to budget out your team. Maybe that will allow you to pick sort of Salah, Haaland with maybe 1 or 2 of these guys. But in terms of some honourable mentions, Gyökeres is high on my radar. He's a wait and see for me. He's obviously very prolific, 84 goals last season for Sporting. He may need some time to adapt for Arsenal in the Premier League, but he's a good sort of cheaper option if you compare him to Haaland and Isak, being significantly priced lower than Haaland. João Pedro is another one on my radar. Chelsea have a very, very good schedule in the first sort of 10 plus games, but in my opinion, are they going to start Pedro or Delap? I think João Pedro looked very good for Chelsea in the pre-season games, especially in the Club World Cup. He sort of fit straight into that team, and obviously he was a top striker for Brighton last year. But yeah, does he start or does Delap start? I do like Delap as well, so similar thing for Delap. Ipswich's best player last year, got the move to Chelsea, played well in the Club World Cup, so it's a wait and see on me for which one of those two gets more times within the first couple of games. Another one I'm looking towards, and I've looked at pre-season, is Beto. 6.5 million makes him a bit of a value pick as well. He's the main striker on the books for Everton. He's got a good first 10 fixtures, only playing 2 hard teams. Obviously opens out to Leeds. Hasn't done too much in pre-season, but he is their main sort of striker. There's not going to be many other strikers that are going to be this low priced for a starting position for a team that are looking to be on the top of the table. Going back up in price again, Cunha. Cunha's a touchy one for me, 8 million. If he was a midfielder, I'd probably take a stab at Cunha. But being 8 million for a forward, I'm not too sure, especially for the first 10 games for Man United are very, very difficult. He had the 11th most points last year in terms of fantasy, with averaging 5.4, which is the 8th most. 22 goal contributions, obviously, as well. But I just think he can be sort of. I think it's a bit of a high price for Cunha. He's not playing as a forward for Man United. He's playing in that sort of number 10 role with Bruno. So he's not really playing as a forward. He's not going to be in and amongst the goals a lot as he was last year for Wolves, I don't think. So honourable mention, but a bit unsure. I'd like to see how he plays out. Similar position for Højlund for Man United, wherever he is. Højlund. If they do get Šeško, it might be a battle between Højlund and Šeško for me for who starts up front for Man United. But yeah, there's a lot of good players that are in and around the league now. Obviously, as I mentioned, Delap and Pedro are 2 that I'm monitoring closely. Ekitike as well for Liverpool. I'm looking at, he's played very well pre-season. I'm looking at him a lot. But again, I'd like to see how they deploy him within the season. So there's a lot to think about in this forward position. But I do also believe I've sort of nailed down the top picks for a lot of these positions, and in the premium bracket and the value bracket. I do want to quickly mention Brozier and Gehi there. I think that's how you say his name. I don't even know. This one here, Mark Gehi. I have no idea. But these two have just moved from Chelsea to Sunderland and to Burnley. So they are priced at 5 million and could potentially go straight into their first team lineup for the new respective clubs. 5 million for a starting striker within those two teams could be very, very good. And if you look at the fixtures as well, I don't think they're too far off being fairly competitive. So when you look at there for Burnley, they play 2 hard games. Man United I've put as medium, Sunderland easy. But those games there, they could be very, very competitive in. Similar for Sunderland, they don't play a hard team, but they do play Wolves and Nottingham Forest within those first 6 games. So, it could be an ideal value, a very good value pick to help you get sort of Haaland and a Salah within your team with a 5 million striker. On the forwards within the EPL Fantasy Season-Long game over on FanTeam, I do have another episode planned for a few days, maybe into next week, where I'm going to be doing a team reveal. And I'll sort of break down why I've made those particular picks for each position based on values, and basically all my strategies put into one team, and why I've made those picks based on strategies, fixtures, last year's stats, all those kind of things. So I'll do a team reveal, with all those things, those factors included. In the meantime, obviously, as I've mentioned already, head over to my Twitter. You can enter that giveaway that I've mentioned as well, where you have to like, retweet, and comment free on the post. You can click on my articles, my highlights within my Twitter to see that. I don't know why this is taking so long to load. But it will be on here somewhere. Wherever it highlights, right, here we go. Just scroll down on the highlights, it'll be there. You'll see a nice big graphic for it. There it is, 5 free tickets being given away for the £175,000 fantasy season-long game over on FanTeam. Like, retweet, comment free on this post only to enter. If I like your comment, you have been entered. So as you can see here, I've liked comments there. All the comments entered. As well as that giveaway on my Twitter, I want you to all head over to my YouTube. You can look back at all the episodes that I've done so far. So I've done a full Premier League breakdown where I break down every team's chances and things like that, and my predictions for the league, where I think they're going to finish up in the league table. I've also done, obviously, these episodes here where fantasy football midfielders guide. So these two here, midfielders. This one is the audio, this one is the video. Same here for defenders and goalkeepers. Defensive audio there, defensive video there. Similar thing here, breakdown for the Premier League predictions, where I think they're going to finish, all those kind of things. You can listen back and watch back to these here. I've also done a few YouTube shorts where I've highlighted a few players, obviously so far. Saliba, Salah, forwards will be coming out. A quick guide on midfielders, defenders, goalkeepers, etc. So just head over to my YouTube. Drop me a subscribe, like some videos, comment as well. Let me know who you're picking, who you like, who you don't like. Do the same on Twitter. Follow, like, subscribe, retweet, everything and everywhere on all forms of social media. Help me grow a little bit. The more I grow, the more people I can help out. So that's the end goal, is to try and help everyone within the fantasy scene, even in the betting scene as well. I'm going to be doing an episode next week, as I said, breaking down all the strategies and things I do for fantasy. I'll also be doing a little segment for the betting side of things as well, how I come up with my particular bets, what the bets are, a few season-long bets as well. I'm going to be placing. So don't miss out on next week's episode. Make sure you follow on Twitter. Turn notifications on Twitter and YouTube after subscribing, so you do not miss a single one of these episodes. So that's me. I'm going to sign out. I'm going to leave you all to listen to this one. Don't be afraid to drop a comment. I want to hear everyone's opinions. If you like my picks, if you don't like my picks, who you like, who you don't like, who you're going to roll with, who you're not going to roll with, etc. Let me know in the comments, and I'll be back in a few days for the full breakdown episode. Catch you later!